Hey, good morning. Good morning. I hope everybody is doing is having an amazing Wednesday. I keep thinking it's Thursday. I don't know why. But, today it's time for us to drive the conversation as it relates to women and what we do versus what we have. As we approach Black History Month, as we approach Women's History Month, it's time for us to get aligned with how women need to start to demand their worth in the world. It's unfortunate, but it's true. And for the most part, we've been taught that if we do good, good will come to us. But the word is crystal clear that we have not because we ask not. So, with that being said, and I'm going to turn it over to you, Alicia. If we don't spread the word, that we're demanding more, things are going to continue on their same vein. And likewise, and almost as importantly, if we don't start working together, right? And I read a quote about women, especially Black women, that said, we don't know where this rift between Black women is coming. Black women have always been friends. Because back
Yes.
then, if you didn't have another Black woman, you didn't have anything.
Right.
And when I think about my mother and my grandmother, they always had a pile of Black women around them, and it was never no mess. That was how information was facilitated. That's how people got jobs. That's how people ate. When you knew Mr. Gilmore letting people come into the turnip green pack and pick greens for $2 a bag, you told everybody on the street. And as a result of that, everybody went and picked greens when the layaway was coming. At Walmart, you told everybody. When
Right.
when when Piggly Wiggly had crackers on sale for 5 cents a box, you told everybody. And so this whole women don't get along thing, especially Black women, that's very, very new in terms of what we've had to do to survive. And so I'm inviting you guys to not only be a part of an amazing collaboration, it's going to be a book collaboration, it's going to be a documentary. We're going to go on tour. The women involved are going to be eligible to receive a Golden Phoenix Award. Um, our goal is to become best-selling Amazon authors. But I say all of that to say this is about telling your story and how you rose from the ashes. Many of us have was left for dead. Many of us, they said we wouldn't make it this far. Many of us, they counted us out. Many of us, they said we'd never accomplish this or that. So, it's very important that we tell our stories so that other women can understand what is available for them too. Alicia, I'm gonna let you start unpacking that. But again, if you're interested and you want more information, because we're about to start having informational sessions, make sure you go to bit.ly/womenrise 2022 and get your name in the hat. There's no charge for coming to the informational sessions. Don't get left behind.
Mm. I can just tell you, Coach, you pack that so much. It's like what article comes out the bag first. But I'm going to tell you this right here. When you started talking about women and the history, I think it's almost like it teleported me back to a place of being a young girl. And we go down south, and there would be all the aunties and the cousins. They'd be out there shucking peas, okay? And so it just kind of brought to mind about the power, of the community, because they would have gardens down there, and how, Big Mama could sit there and she'd be there and they have big bags of them, and so she could be there with that bag for 2 weeks. But when they all came together, and I mean, it was the sit there, it was what was going on in the family, what's going on with the kids, and this laughter and this talking all over the common thing of shucking peas, okay? And so to have opportunities to bring people together in the 21st century. I mean, my family talks about a lot about how, as much as desegregation helped us economically, socially, we as people, we struggled when the desegregation came, and we just didn't have to rely on one another. But to put opportunities out there that will kind of create an atmosphere for women, to come together again and be intentional about moving projects and moving ourselves forward on a common ground is absolutely amazing to me.
And to understand that how historically we've been underpaid, how historically we've been undervalued, how historically we've been marginalized, treated poorly. I mean, and it shows. It shows in the homelessness among women. It shows in the demographics of how much we earn, and how very close we are to abject poverty. And all of those things are saying, girl, don't let it be you. And one of the most important things we're going to be doing with this project is showing people how to monetize their story. Because God didn't give it to you because it wasn't worth nothing.
Right.
God didn't give it to you because it wasn't worth nothing. He gave it to you because it was worth more than silver and gold. And so if it's worth more than silver and gold, you can at least get silver and gold for it. I don't know. I'm gonna let you go on and take that one, TK.
Silver and gold, so much. I am grateful for you to even have a documentary for women to be able to speak about their story. So many people want to hide their story because they're ashamed or afraid or whatever the case may be. But um, to share your story can help people in so many ways right now. It can stretch them. It can just help someone along the way. As you guys are talking as well, I remember shucking peas with my grandmother and doing certain things with her as well. My mother being paid $2.25 an hour, and I remember things like that. So I have a story, you have a story, we all have a story. And I just can't wait to share with others.
And you know what? And more than anything, understanding too that times are changing. Times are changing. Uh, we talked the other day about Black history and about how it hasn't been that long since slavery. Likewise, women had a double-edged sword, because once we got the right to vote, you know, after slavery, we still didn't have the right to vote as women. So we still didn't have the right to own land. We still didn't have the right to do this and the right to do that. So unfortunately, we had to go through not only the racial civil rights movement, but also women's suffrage. And I don't know, there's this stating, they call it the rule of thumb. Y'all ever heard about the rule of thumb? And rule of thumb is like just something that people do because that's the rule of thumb. The rule of thumb is you water your grass in the evening and not in the middle of the day. The rule of thumb, well, the actual rule of thumb and what it's saying comes from is because you used to couldn't beat your wife with a stick no bigger than your thumb. Yeah, I'll go and look it up. And in some places, laws like that about women, laws like that about Black people are still on the books.
Yes.
You got to be careful now.
Yeah.
And so, we've just got to work to change how the world views us. And we can't change how the world views us until we start to view ourselves differently. We've got to start finding beauty in our uniqueness. We've got to stop letting everybody steal what's beautiful about us and then calling them pretty. That's crazy. How do you let somebody steal your big lips and your big hips and your big butt and your dark skin and your nappy hair and then call them pretty. You got people that gotta put honey and mud in their hair to get their hair to lock up like yours. They gotta get curly kits to get their hair to lock up like yours. But yet and still, they've stolen all the good parts of you. And you want to say they pretty. I don't know. I'm gonna let y'all comment on that.
I'm going to think that personally, it's like it's amazing that the very thing that they would want to be derogatory toward us and all those things, you know, or try to devalue it and say that it's not, you know, what it's not. And when the standard of beauty comes, you know, is not even based upon that. You know, sometimes we'll look at our own features and we're trying to change things, you know, and to look like somebody else in the thought process. Well, who says that's not pretty? Who says that when the Lord was creating noses, that this particular nose isn't the nose that he says I like best and I'm giving it to people of color? So obviously it has to be a place of value in it, or else half the world wouldn't be trying to do what they out there getting cancer, trying to get this melanin in the skin.
Okay. Girl out there getting burnt up in tanning salons, out there getting their hair stripped, trying to get curly perms, out there trying to got their lips swole up like Fat Albert, trying to get Botox, getting their bodies amputated because they out there trying to get Brazilian butt lifts. You know,
God gave it to us naturally, you know, and we don't value it. You know what I'm saying? We don't necessarily look into it. It's like God looked at it and said, this is good. But when we look at it, we don't. We just say, oh, if only I could, and if we just need to. And I think that's the same thing, Coach. It goes with even with, you know, we were talking about our talents, but even I think that the business that God has given us, or the vision that he has, I think sometimes we looking at other people out there and, oh, well, so-and-so doing it and they got this and they got this, not realizing that very same thing is on the inside of you. You know, you just need to have some things in place so you can have that water.
And that's one thing, Alicia, I want to make sure that women know, because women are going to say, well, I'm not good enough for this tour. I'm not good enough for this book. I'm not good enough for this documentary. And I want to tell you, I'm not looking for Oprah Winfrey. I'm looking for the diamond in the rough. I'm looking for that person that the Lord has spoke to you and said, you need to tell your story, and you still hiding behind, you know, and social media makes it so hard. So I'm not mad at women for not wanting what they have, because growing up, I was blessed to be in a household with big women who were confident. And because they was big and confident, I didn't look to the television as my role models. I didn't wish I had something that I didn't have. But the media makes it hard. The media makes it hard for a Black woman to love her size and love her shape and love her skin, because them runways still putting something other than on them runways. And that's why we need to quit buying they shit. I'm going to say it like Erykah Badu. We need to stop. Stop buying they shit. If it ain't meant for your curves,
don't get it.
If it ain't meant for your skin tone. And Gloria Vanderbilt even came out, God rest her soul, because I think she gone now. But I think it was a time she came out and said her Vanderbilt jeans, and you know, in the country we call them Vanderbilt. Them Vanderbilt jeans wasn't made. Oh, Gloria Vanderbilt, that was my grandma, Miss Scholar. Them Vanderbilt jeans wasn't made for us. You ain't got to tell me too many times that you ain't fooling with me.
He'll figure too. He made it clear, you know, and folks was making him millions in those 90s. Oh man, they was making him money. And in the midst of him making him money, he made it clear, made it real clear. This wasn't intended for my brand.
Said it was making his brand look bad. Let me tell y'all something though, kind of unrelated but unrelated. You gotta watch who you listen to. You gotta watch who you listen to. And if you guys haven't shared this broadcast, make sure you do, because I know the women that I'm looking for are watching. I don't know if y'all watched that movie yet. Don't Look Up.
No.
Y'all need to watch it, but I don't want to spoil it. But there was a meteor 10 miles wide heading toward Earth. It's what they call an extinction level event. Because if it hits the land, if it hits the water, it's going to make tsunamis all over the world. And then there's the smoke plume, the debris in the atmosphere, the impact, it's what they call a planet killer.
Mm-hmm.
And so the government had a plan to send these missiles to break it up before it entered into our atmosphere. Well, let's just call him Bill Gates. There was super smart, Bill Gates, Elon. Let's call him Elon Musk because I like old Bill. Elon Musk said the meteorite is made of titanium, which we need to make these cell phone chips or whatever. So he said, let's not destroy it. Let's go up and harvest it. And they end up listening to this man. And as a result, I'm going to let you hear the end. I'll let y'all watch the end. But they had a plan to save the earth. And instead of saving the earth, they went ahead and everything went kablooey. You got to be careful who you listen to. You just do. About who you are, about what's going on in the world, about what you're capable of. You've got people that will be jealous of what you have and will tell you don't have anything. You have people that will be jealous of what you have and tell you what you have is not worth anything.
That's true.
I told y'all about my auntie in class the other night. My auntie taught me a long time ago.
Yes.
She said, be careful who you tell about your man.
Right.
Be careful who you bring around your man. And be careful how you clean a man up. She said she used to have a boyfriend that was a trash man. And looked like Billy Goat Gruff.
Okay.
So she said she got him and, showed him how to cut his hair and showed him he used to come straight to the club smelling like trash. She said, but I didn't care because he had trash man money. She said, but I got a little embarrassed. He was around me smelling like trash. So I showed him how to stop at home and, take a bath and put his little cologne on first and showed him how to keep his little hair cut. And before I know long, I looked up and the trash man had all these women. She said, next time I got me old throwed away, look like nothing man, I left him just how he looked when he came to me. You got to learn from your elders, y'all.
No, for real.
People need to write a book. Just words of wisdom and stories behind them. That's what
for real, girl. But just somebody will talk about your car. And when you park it, we'll go get in it and drive off in it. Somebody will talk about your house. And if you turn your back, they'll move into it. Somebody will talk about your man and you'll look up and he'll be gone. Be careful. And somebody will talk about your gifts and your talents. And if you peek over the wall long enough, they'll be trying to do exactly what you're doing. Some of my biggest haters follow me so closely that I got people that'll send me talking about, girl, coach, if I know better, I'd have thought this was your campaign. Didn't you just run this campaign 6 months ago? Didn't you just run this campaign a year ago? Didn't you just run this campaign 2 years ago? Wasn't your mentorship called this? Because didn't you have a book project called? Yes, indeed.
Wow.
See, what we hate, what we don't like, what we think is worthless, you'll fool around and somebody else will be riding in it, wearing it. They say one man's junk is another man's treasure. You better be careful what you throw out by the side of the road.
Come on. That's good.
You done threw your gifts and talents by the side of the road and somebody done rolled by with a truck and picked them up. I don't know if y'all seen it. It's a paint commercial. The man buys a bike from the man for $5. He gets a can of red paint. He paints the bike red. He puts a new basket and a bell on it, sold it back to the man for $100. Same damn bike.
Mm-hmm.
You letting your jobs sell your gifts and talents back to you.
I'm passing the plate.
You letting your job sell your gifts and talents to you for pennies on the dollar. Mm-hmm. They're hiring you for way less than $1 million you could be making you do 2 and 3 jobs, and then giving you a paycheck. And I'm not even going to talk about government assistance and how it's tricked our minds, because guess what? The disabled made it before disability. Because I know all kind of people with disabilities that found something to do, whether it was keep kids or wash clothes, or they did something. The less fortunate found a way to eat long before food stamps. Those without jobs found something to do long before TANF.
Yes. And took care of families on that. They took care of families.
Took care of it, because we didn't have the level of homelessness you have now. You didn't have the level of people losing their house like you do now.
I remember
and the community would support them. They would know, so-and-so over there. So then they knew if they needed, they could wash their own clothes, but they'll send them right on down there to so-and-so, because they knew, they had to have come up with a different way. I'm sorry, Terrell, go ahead.
And that's okay. I was just saying, I remember my dad pressing shirts, suits, the dress shirts for men in business before there was a big cleaners or whatever the case may be. That's how he hustled. I mean, he would have bags and bags, every weekend, and press them down and press they dress pants and everything. So there's always a way to hustle before, like you said, before there was disability.
My grandmother kept kids, iron clothes, cook food. It was always something. And absolutely, Alana, we stuck together. And it's a shame how they give us a little piece of change, and now all of a sudden you got these that want to act better and these that want to, baby. Jay-Z said it best in his song. He said, still an N-word. He said, don't matter how much money he get. He said, I'm still an N-word. He said, it don't matter how far I think I've climbed. I'm still an N-word. I got all this art, all this jewelry, all these houses, all these cars. Alana, go to my link and schedule a call. It's bit.ly/Black Girl Profits Call. And we can talk about what I got going on. And that's what we used to do. We used to live together in the same house until we could afford 2 houses. Then, we buy 2 houses, we all pile up together. I mean, we just got to get the dynamic back of women working together. And that's what this tour is about. We're going to do some amazing events in some amazing cities to show women, that this sisterhood is a real thing. And I'm going to see if I can find that quote, because I'm telling you, when we start sticking together, The world ain't gonna be able to handle us at all. And see, they want to be quick to say we got an attitude, but we don't have attitudes. They just can't handle our personality. And that's the truth of the matter. Y'all can talk while I'm looking.
I think that that's kind of key what you were saying. It's like there is a portrayal, of women of color in relation to what do you hear a lot of times? Some of the, angry Black woman and it's really and truly not like that. I think it's sometimes just a matter of, you have emotions, but because the stigma lies, is out there, then for whatever reason, you're very quick to be pigeonholed or put into a certain place where that shouldn't be. However, those very same things as far as, your ability to make decisions quick, your ability to, to multiply and to and to see vision where there is not necessarily anything and to strategize. All those things, for whatever reason, do not seem to be, there doesn't seem to be a stereotype for those things. You get what I'm saying? Like the good qualities, there doesn't seem to be one. Is just quick to kind of wait until something has been said and they get a rise, and then they find yourself pigeonholed or put in that type of a label. And when that happens, it's almost like it's an intentional assault on your shine, because that will want to come louder or speak louder than what the other qualities that you have and the other awesomeness and genius that you display. That was just
what that is what Mr. Truck calls shut up and take it.
Okay.
See, they want to do Black women wrong, but they just want us to shut up and take it. Because if they start saying, well, you got an attitude, then maybe you'll just shut up about the fact that Bob make more money than you. And if they start, see, that's corporate America's version of shut up and take it. You won't go around telling everybody how you didn't get that promotion if they start blaming everything on attitude. So is it my attitude, or am I justified in my feelings because you've done me wrong? And it's your guilt. It's your guilt and your sneakiness and your trifleness that blames me. Oh my God, we watched Steve Harvey got a new court show. And we watched it yesterday, and it was an African-American woman and a Caucasian woman. And the African-American woman won a VIP trip from some organization that the Caucasian woman, and the woman did not book their trip. And she said, well, he was less inclined to book the VIP trip for somebody random. And yeah, I know I owe her, but I was going to pay her back when I got back from vacation. Steve Harvey said, where'd y'all go? Oh, I took my kids to Paris and Amsterdam. And so she really didn't care. She really didn't. You watched that too, Shanandra? If I tell you, she really talked down on that Black woman, but Steve Harvey low-key called it out. Steve Harvey low-key was like, no, wait a minute. And all these looks, she was looking at her like, less than. And Steve Harvey said, wait a minute. Because initially the drawing was rigged. They said they was going to give away something, and it told the woman reach in there and win her own prize. So you never expected her to win it in the first place. But that's all right, because you know what? They said he'll give you double for your trouble. In Steve Harvey, it was like a VIP weekend in Atlantic City. Some casino worth $600 or $700. Steve Harvey said, you know what? I'm going to make her pay you your $600 or $700, but you and your girlfriends can go to Vegas on me. Take this $5,000. Take that, and y'all go to Vegas and act a donkey. Yes, man. So sometimes we're waiting on one person to pay us back. And the Lord already got your recovery in mind. But we have felt for so long that we got to just shut up and take it. And you have options. That job is not your only option. And I wish I had the number of evangelists running around telling me back then what I'm telling y'all now. You got options to make more money. You've got options to free yourself. You've got things you can do that are far above and beyond what a job could ever do for you. You choose to go to that job. You choose to let them treat you crazy. You choose to shut up and take it. And maybe you don't want to build your own business. There are other jobs. Your loyalty. Where's this misplaced loyalty coming from?
I have no. Well, I think I do know. I think I do know. Sometimes I think that that loyalty is a character that people have, and it's a strength. But what I have found is that you have to. It's like this. Your loyalty is not for everything and everyone. So if God has given you that you need to figure out who you need to be aligned with, what you need to be aligned with, and be loyal to that. Because the very thing that you are loyal to, and you out here doing 10 backflips for this job, whatever it is, a boardroom decision, and all of a sudden you don't exist, and your whole life have to change. So you started talking about, I think that when a person has options, they are empowered. That is the empowerment. So then, when you begin to realize I have an option, and, you realize you don't have to stand and deal with that kind of stuff. You don't have to shut up and take it. As a matter of fact, you can shut up and make it. You don't have to do
anything. Shut up and let them make it. And we got, and we was just talking about this earlier. We got loyalty to these brands that can't stand us. We got loyalty to all of these other things that don't have loyalty to us. I need some more Splenda. And when are we going to understand that your loyalty to the Most High first, to your family second, to yourself third? I'm going to repeat that. To the Most High first.
Yes.
Oh, I remember seeing this court case of this woman that didn't work on Sundays because she went to church on Sundays, and everybody at the job knew it. They got a new supervisor, and he gonna try to make her work on Sundays. And she said, I got a religious exemption. I go to church on Sundays. I always have. But, this boss said he gonna make her. She said she wouldn't do it and got fired. They awarded that woman, I think, almost $2 million.
The law can come with respect. You know that, right? Scarface said the best. How you gonna respect the law before you respect God?
I awarded that woman almost $2 million because guess what? She put it in the Lord's hand. And I'm not saying don't go to your job, because I used to work on Sundays. But the truth of the matter is, there are jobs that don't open on Sundays. You gotta put some boundaries around your greatness and your life. So guys, if you're ready to get your story told and put a value on your story, go to bit.ly/womenrise2022. I think it's amazingly important that we start doing something different.
Absolutely.
Ursula, you've been quiet, girl, over there.
Yeah, I'm working, guys, but I'm listening. But it's all everything you said was amazing, and talking about the job, which I'm on this plantation right now, and when y'all talking about how they paying us, yeah, not my worth.
It's not. So we got to choose between the difference between doing what we know will pay us and doing what they say will pay us. And those are our choices, guys. So if you want to learn more, go to bit.ly/womenrise2022. And we'll be back tomorrow morning with some more good news for the people. Love you guys.
Love you. Have a good
Love
day.
you. Have a good
Have a good
day.
day.
Bye.